Okay, I think it's better to start because we have only 1 hour. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Viviana Sudati, and I'm in charge of communication and marketing at Polo della Cosmesi, that is the Italian cosmetic cluster. For those who know us and know our training program, this webinar is different from the ones usually organized. First of all, because this webinar is organized in the frame of Global Cosmetic Cluster, that is an association that brings together 15 international cosmetic clusters. This webinar is a part of a series of webinars called Access to Global Market that aims to foster knowledge sharing among our members within the cosmetic industry in order to help our member internationalization and promote the network of GCC. Through this webinar, we would to provide you a valuable insights into global cosmetic market, introducing the landscapes of cosmetic market around the world and discussing the key trends, regulation and market entry useful information. As you can see, the format is organized into two parts. Today we attend to the first part that we hope provide you a deep overview of the Italian cosmetic market, offering insights into market dynamics, consumer behavior and industry trends. The second part will be held on the 26th of November. Both webinar, both parts will be registered and published on the GCC website. So it's time to present you the speakers, three speakers of this morning. The first is Stefano Ghetti, Managing Partner of Expertise on Field. His colleague Paolo Palomba, Managing Partner of Expertise on Field, and David Vaccarella, manager at Rodal and Partner. Before I give them the floor, I must ask you to keep your microphone off, and if you have any question, there will be a key moment at the end of the presentation. To the speakers, I ask to be on time because, as I said, we have only 1 hour. I know it's not a long time, but I'm sure that you'll do fine. So, start, and I leave the floor to our first speaker, Stefano Ghetti. Please, Stefano.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I am Stefano Ghetti, and I am Managing Partner of Expertise on Field, a consulting boutique that support Italian foreign companies that want to enter in the Italian market. Just 5 minutes, an overview of the Italy economic landscape, including key demographic data and age class distribution. As probably you know, is the third market in Europe and represents the 12.4% of the European gross domestic product GDP. Is also our GDP per capita, that is close to 29,000 euro, is really close to the average of the European Union, something less respect the euro area. Some figures about our economy. Our economy in the last 2 years is growing better or the same level of the European Union. Italy is the blue line, as you can see. And so the growth is equivalent. And also our inflation rate is less is just now 0.7% respect to the European average that is 2.1%. And finally, also our employment rate in the last 2 years decreased faster from 8.5 to 6.2, and we are really close to the European averages, that is 5.9%. If we look at our demography at national level, again, Italy is the third market with 59 million of inhabitants. and we represent the 13% of the total European inhabitants. What is different respect to the other country is the age distribution of the population. In fact, the 24% of our population is 60 years and older. Italy and Portugal, as you can see, are the country with the high rate of oldest people. And this creates also a value for the median age of population. Italy is the oldest one with 48 years old. And this because we have also a lower group, less of 12% of population under the 14 years old. In any case, the life expectation in Italy is the highest in Europe and is 84 years old. The purchase of cosmetics by Italian is doing well. This year will be close over 13 billion euro with a growth of 7% respect last year. But also the forecast for 2025 is good with the growth of with the value of over 14 billion euro plus 6%. Now I share the screen with my colleague Paolo that give you a view of the country consumption.
Hello?
Okay?
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, Stefano. I'm going to follow the Stefano introduction by talking about the country consumption in Italy and retail channels. I'm going to introduce this part with this short introduction. We will do then a dive into the main channels in Italy, store banners, pharmacies, beauty salon, etc. And then we will focus on some of the main beauty consumer trends in Italy. Let me first say one aspect, that's my presentation is, I'm a manager working for a consumer goods company in several countries and also retail. And I've been working also as a general manager, category manager in marketing. Now I'm working in expertise and field that's, as Stefano said, is helping companies coming from abroad to Italy to expand their business. And I'm also adjunct professor in the Bologna University Business School. Let me focus on the market vision we have, how we look at the markets, especially if we have some specific goal to know better the market and to understand which is the best approach to develop for that. First of all, we took the supply chain in this vision like this, shoppers and consumers and users. So we start from the end of the supply chain and we try to look which are the behaviors of consumption, of using the products and of shopping the products in the store. We make this distinction because we all are consumers or users in some way of the products, but it's not the same if we consider to be shopper. Maybe someone make a gift to us, we don't buy the products. That's very important because the influence we get during the purchasing is very, very important. And that is a matter of retail. What we see then is that there is the retail and distributor channel, pharmacy in this case, or other stores in this case. We focus on this part of the supply chain. Of course, we have also the manufacturers of the cosmetic industry, the supply industry, that is the industry of packaging, of fragrances, of ingredients, and the raw materials and laboratories also in this case. What we see is always every time we approach a new market, we think that is for our success, we have to start from the end of the supply chain. So to know better the market, the distribution, the retailers is the best way to proceed in that way. And we talk in this few minutes I have to spend with you about these channels. Let's give you an idea. These are Italian words of the clouds, of the words of the meaning of cosmetic industry. So viso e corpo, the biggest one that is proportional to the importance for Italian people, Italian customers, are face and body. Focus immediately one of the priority in looking at this market for cosmetic. Then we have perfumes, hair, shower tinters, solar products. Makeup is an English word we use also the same way. What is interesting to say on this is that we have 4 main points about the trends in consumption in Italy, but not only in Italy, I know. One of the trends is based on technology. Another trend is based on humanity. Well, there is a sort of reaction in having a human experience in spite of the great technology. So our humanity want to be substituted by the technology. These two elements are also strongly connected right now because with the artificial intelligence, we have much more possibilities, accessibilities to technology. And it's very easy now, if you want to resolve a question, to ask the question to the artificial intelligence and to get in the very human way and to get the answer that is useful for your activity. You don't need to be an expert in technical issue. Then we have, of course, the sustainability. That is the background we are living everywhere in every corner of the world. And we have, of course, the well-being. Also, all these elements are interconnected among them. But I want to focus now on the part that is beauty is a main part of well-being of the people. And there is, with the other 3 components, something that can be considered a sort of enabling activity or background. So humanity and technology are a sort of enabler for us to approach and to access to the beauty and as a beauty to our well-being. And we all have the sustainability that is the background. It's not just the background of the environment, because sustainability means also wellness, personal wellness, healthy wellness, and something like that. These trends are very, very important in this moment in Italy and also in the Western European countries. Let's do now a dive into the main channels and something like this. We start very briefly with some figures, global figures that mention that the Western European countries in the center, the blue 9.4%, is one of the most important increase in cosmetic consumption in all over the world. The total amount of 102 billion euro is similar to North America. We have a great increase also in South America with 15.5%. And then we have a lower increase in Asia countries, but you see the value is much, much more important than the others. Just to make a first comparison with this data, if we had an increase of value in the world in 2023 comparing to 2022 of 5% with 27 billion euro, in Italy now we have the same year we have the plus 14% of increase of sales and plus 2 billion euro added to the value chain. Cosmetic consumption in the many European countries, you see, is very important. Italy is the 3rd country in value and volume, but the change is very interesting. It's 12.5 billion euro after 15.9 of Germany and 13.7 of France, and the rate is 9.4% in the last year. We see also in this case a quite good increase of Poland among the market that are growing, and is one of the most important growers in all over Europe. Cosmetic consumption in the main European countries is characterized by categories for several differences. Let's focus on Italy, of course, and let's see that facial and body care with 4.4 billion euro, that is almost the same, it's more of the value of France in this category, facial and body care. Mention that the fact that for Italy, facial and body care is very, very important, more than any other category in the group. The second one is with 2.4% the alcohol-based perfume product, and the total is 12.5. We have also the possibility to see some macro categories. The facial is 29% in weight, 27.7 in value. Then we have the personal cleansing, 23% and 24%, and all the other macro category, hair care, alcohol-based, and makeup. As Stefano told, we have 13.4 billion expected by the end of 2024, with a plus 7% versus 2023. And we see a forecast for 2025 to 14.2 billion euro that will be plus 6.1% versus 2024. That means that we are in a strong expansive phase of cosmetics purchasing by Italians that will consolidate during the 2025. The consumption of cosmetics is characterized from this plus 7% and plus 6.1%, but is divided for the channels, with the mass market doing the biggest part, that is 5.5 billion euro. Then we have the second part, the perfumeries, that is with 9.1%. Pharmacy, that is growing very well to 5.4%. Pharmacy is a very important channel in this moment in Italy, because we have a very fast aggregation and creation of new pharmacist chains all over Italy that is becoming quite more interesting for the companies coming from abroad, because with one buyer, a few buyers, you can get a big presence, distribution, and volumes of your products. Then we go to see the e-commerce also, that is important, but we see that the first four channels makes a big part of the turnover, in this case for cosmetics. Let's go a bit more in deep with some categories, the breakdown of consumption. The total categories includes also hairdress, herbalist, and direct sales. But mass market is the first with 41.6% of consumption, and beauty stores 20%, pharmacies 16.7%. These three channels, they makes almost 90% of the total turnover. And that is very important to identify that the mass market is composed by supermarkets and hypermarkets with 35.9%, specialist stores, drug stores like 36.6%, single brand stores 18.3%, and other stores 9.2%. The breakdown of consumption is also very interesting if we see it in this page, because the volume 1.6 billion for fashion care products and the body care is 1.5 billion euro are very, very important. And also in this case, the first 6 categories of products are doing the big part of the volume or the value of these categories. About the trends, we see this picture that is connected to the trends of consumption, of quantity, and prices. It's very important, the part of prices, because we passed through a very strong period of inflation in the past 2 years, and that the reason why it's interesting to compare the single channels depending on the characteristic. We have the beauty stores are very interesting with an increase of 14% of consumption, but also an increase of 8.5% of prices. That is the highest level of increase of these prices. Then we have the herbalist store with an increase of 6.7%. And of course, the mass market with prices that are very, very low in increase of prices to 1.9%. So the total market is going to 9.4% in consumption, 6.1% in quantity, 3.5% in prices. The comparison in 5 years, 6 years almost, of the purchase of cosmetics shows that the categories most important are hair care, personal hygiene, and facial care. And for every year, averagely, we have an increase that is comprised between 0.2% to 0.8%, 0.2% of facial care products and a 0.8% for toothpaste and mouthwash. It's interesting to see because every year in the past we had a strong increase of these products. Cosmetics are among the most important consumer goods increasing in sales in the last 3-4 years. Face care categories in sales channel, we see the most important category and channels are the categories as anti-aging and anti-wrinkle creams with 43.3%. That is the light blue color in the ring on the left. And this kind of products are sold mainly in pharmacies, 39.1% of market share. And that's very easy to understand because you need to have someone that is very expert, so some pharmacists, some dermatologists that are able to give a suggestion about this kind of products. Then we have also the body care categories, very, very important. Deodorants, antitranspirants, and sunscreen pigments are more than 60% of the share of the sales. And in this case, the mass market is the main channels that is used for these kind of categories with 57.8%. Then we have the part of the dedicated to a target. So the target women, that is 75% of the total market. We have the facial care products at the top with 19.6%. Products for body care 16 and alcohol-based perfumes 11. So it's very, very important to understand how also this main target comparatively to men, that is just the other 25%, is very important for facial care and also body care products. The percentage of composition of sales in large retail chain is on the other side done by products for body care. In this case, we have a lot of shampoos or something like that, facial care, oral hygiene. And on the right, we see the products that are not really so well sold in this channel. And these are typical products for the specialized channel of the store, the beauty stores and the pharmacies. About some of the trends, we can see that the consumption is very important for the main beauty in Italy for several elements. If we take an example of sustainability, when it comes to sustainable products, beauty shoppers are looking for different qualities across geographies. In this survey made by McKinsey, also in Italy, we see that were identified some specific topics of importance in these channels. The first is about the ingredients, and we see that Italy about the ingredients is very focused, gives very high importance, together with the fact that the ingredients do not harmful the environment. And then we see also something very strange because we expect for made locally in your country an higher value for Italy, but it is just 15. That's very different with the food. For food, we have the highest rate of attention to this kind of products, to Italian products. But for cosmetics, we are very flexible to see also foreign products coming from abroad. And that is good news, I think, for all the companies, all the brands that want to expand their sales in Italy. Then we have the production process, and of course we have the packaging. The packaging very important also for Italy, for the recycling and the plastic-free packaging. And the social causes made by social responsible brand. We know that all the supply chain should be transparent and available to be seen by the customer. The skincare routine is very, very important. Is the Italian deal. This is a comparison of the search of skincare word that was done in the past 12 months by Italians, French people, and German people. You see that there was an increase of 2 million requests about this topic from Italians, just 480,000 search in France and 580,000 in Germany. So I think we can say Italians are a bit skincare addicted, and especially face care addicted about this point. Body is the new icon also for the young Italian people. 27 they are convinced that appearance defines others' opinions. 65% of young people have a bad relationship with their body, and 42% of Italians went on a diet on 2024. Another point is about the premiumness. The premiumness is related to the price paid for the value received back from the customer, and we see that we have also an increase of the premium part of the market in the last years. Particularly, this growth is connected to premiumization, also related to fragrance growth, and also it is a key that will be for brand to build on their expertise to develop scents tailored to local sensitivities. That was a repetition of the table regarding the prices. So the 4 trends will continue to shape the industry: beauty science, pure beauty, inclusive beauty, and digitally native are all the targets that are to be addressed if you enter the Italian market. Each of these with a very specific kind of positioning, with efficient products for beauty science, good for me, good for the planet, for pure beauty, gender, age, ethnicity, religion, or condition for inclusive beauty, and the authentic and convenient purchasing journeys for digitally native shoppers and customers. In Italy, a new definition is reshaping the market and consumer shift their objectives from aesthetic perfection to holistic well-being. We can say that brands can tap into emerging wellness subcategories from sleeps, intimacy to ingestible beauty. Ingestible beauty is very interesting, where there are a lot of products that are used to be ingested to give a skin and has a very strong result. To upgrade their existing products and expand their portfolios, provided they do so with credibility and authenticity. So we are back again to our starting point. We focus on this part. And for this reason, now I invite you to take the word to my colleague Stefano on the part on the left of this supply chain. Thank you.
Thank you, Paolo. I will share the screen. Okay. Now. Okay, you can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So speaking about the last part, our part, of course, is related to the Italy cosmetic industry. And In the next 15 minutes, I give you some key figures about the mapping of the existing value chain, how third parties will shape the future in the cosmetic industry, the geographical concentration of the industry activities, the main product categories of demand within the domestic industry, some B2B aspects such as industry trade show or advertising expenditure, and finally, some example how foreign company can enter the market also through merger and acquisition. As we have already said, the cosmetic industry turnover is rough over 15 billion euro. But if we included also the company that produce raw material, packaging, and machinery, we go over 20 billion euro. If we consider the share of value created by the cosmetic system, so for instance, including also beauty and hairdressing salon, we arrive at over 20 billion euro. That means that the full value of the cosmetic economic system, starting from the raw material, including the retail distribution at the end of the process, we arrive at over 30 billion euro turnover. This is the dimension of the industry in 2023. As we said at the beginning, third party will shape the future of the cosmetic in the meaning that till 2010, a large part of the production was done in-house. Just a few part was done from third party. Actually, in the present, the third-party manufacturing represents more of 1/3 of the total manufacturing. And KPMG will say that in the next future, 5 years from now, in-house will maintain the main character element like develop a brand, develop marketing activity, sales activity, product development, but manufacturing probably will be done outside from third party. Lombardy is the region of Italian cosmetic industry. Lombardy is the region where is based also Milan, and in Lombardy are established half of the cosmetic company that are present in the market, the Italian industry, represent the 67% of the total turnover of cosmetics companies, and at the same time represent over the 75% of the turnover of cosmetics company producing for other brands. This is really a unique characteristic of the Italian market. Also, our evolution of the cosmetics for this year, believe it grow over 16 billion euro with another growth of over 10% respect last year. But also the forecast for 2025 is positive because we will arrive over 18 billion euro. So that means another 8% respect the volume number of this year. If we look at the opportunity for foreign companies that want to enter in the Italian market, we have to know that Italy imports roughly 3 billion euro of cosmetics product. The main category are products for body care that alone represent over 1 billion euro of import. That means the 37% of the total import. The second category are alcohol-based perfume products that represent another 25%, and then product for makeup for 12%, product for hair care, another 11%, personal cleaning 6.3%, and finally oral hygiene 5.6%. If we look at the quantities, we can see that in 2023 we have imported the same quantity of the year before, but the value increase of over 11% for the inflation. So excluding the first three main categories that we have already described in the previous slide, we can enter in to see better other main subcategories like shampoos that represent 123 million euro of import, product for hair preparation, spray and lotion, and makeup for lip and for eye. Other categories are toothpaste and other products for oral hygiene, body deodorants, soap, and finally nail care products. So these are the main subcategory of products that we import from abroad. One of the last aspects that we want to consider is the cosmetic industry advertising expenditure. In 2023, our expenditure was roughly to 490 million euro. That means plus 4% respect 2022, but means also more of 21% respect the pre-pandemic period. And digital is the part that represents actually over the 22% of the total expenditure. Inside this digital media, we can see that the website, that means banner in third-party site, had a growth, incredible growth of 39% respect to 2022, but also social media like TikTok and so on have a growth of 10%. Speaking about trade show, each of you know very well the Cosmoprof, that is a worldwide event with different locations spread worldwide. And of course, the main event is every year in Bologna in March. And is in one fair, we have, as you know very well, 3 different saloons: Cosmopack related to the packaging, Cosmo Perfumery and Cosmetics, that is related, and Cosmo Hair, Nail and Beauty Salon. Of course, the presence to this trade show is done also to create lead generation, business opportunity, but also networking and training. Business opportunity and training are the activities that our company develop for Bologna Fiere to support foreign companies that want to enter in the Italian market. Another relevant trade show is Cosmo Pharma. Cosmo Pharma is an event related to healthcare and beauty care, mainly sold in pharmacy chain. This event is every year in April. Next year will be in April 11 to 13, and there are 3 main sectors. And of course, in the sector of the dermocosmetics, the most relevant categories are products for personal hygiene and body care, oral hygiene, makeup, and food and nail care, and of course, natural cosmetics. Last but not least is the Milano Beauty Week. That is the scope to promote the social, scientific, and economic value of the Italian cosmetic supply chain through events focused on innovation, sustainability, inclusion, and emotion. And this happens every year in autumn. Last aspect that we want to share with you is how the beauty sector is growing also through merger and acquisition. Last year, there were 15 beauty closing, that is the double respect the 8 of the 2022. And this is because financial investors are attracted to the growth trajectory of this sector, consider plus 6% for the next 5 years, and of course also for the high margin. Some acquisition aim also to capitalize on emerging trends. course, focus on premium products, especially fragrance and makeup, that are expected to grow at high rate, plus 8%. So just to give you some example, El Catterton, through the fund Elevate Beauty, have just bought Irene Forte Skincare, or Hyde Capital has completed the acquisition of Naturalia Tantum, like the Equity Club with the acquisition of Reggie. Reggie is a manufacturer of makeup for 30 parties. Also, brands like Millefiori and Neutromed has been sold. And finally, the Peninsula Capital Fund was entering the capital of Veralab. Also, thanks to the e-commerce that, as also Paolo described before, is doing very well in the last 5 years, thanks to the expansion of the offer and the proliferation of social selling. We have companies such as Govi that was acquired by Sodalis, but also by partners that has acquired the majority of Beauty Nova, a platform active in the professional hair care sector. Finally, specialized omnichannel distribution represented another further area of interest. Let me give an example of Pinalli, that is a toiletries chain acquired by iCapital, or El Catterton, that have just taken the control of 70% of Kiko Milano for 1 billion euro, or TDR Capital that have just bought the 62% of the drugstore Acqua e Sapone for a valuation of the group of 1.3 billion euro. So now I give to David the opportunity to speak about the industry regulatory in Italy.
Thank you, Stefano. Can you hear me well?
Yes, very well.
Thank you. So good morning, everyone. Thanks to the organization for inviting me to speak today. Thanks also to Stefano and Paolo, who have provided very good insights, I would say, about the Italian cosmetic product market. I'm David Baccarella. I'm an attorney at law, and I practice in healthcare and life science sector in Rodel & Partner. Today, I will briefly preview some of the key legal and regulatory requirements for operating in the EU cosmetic industry. I will give some insights about how these regulations apply to the foreign companies. Moreover, I would say that these topics will be covered more in detail on the next event on the 26th of November. So to begin, the first and the most important regulation in the European Union market is the EU Regulation 1223/2009. As I said, it's the most important as long as provides and gives the regulations about the obligation that the economic operators have to comply with in order to correctly market the products, the cosmetic products within the market. One of the most important obligation that could be mentioned is the appointment of a responsible person, who would be the person that has to be responsible for the compliance of the product that are sold in the European Union market. One of the other of the main obligation that involves the economic operators in these sectors is the notification on the portal called CPMP, which allows the European competent authorities to access the information on the products that are sold, on cosmetic products that are sold in the European market. Secondly, on the next event, I will talk about claims. As Stefano and Paolo said before, they're very important in order to sell products, and we have seen growth of the claims, especially, if I understood well, on the internet advertisements, which had a big growth. Of course, also these claims have to comply with the regulation 655, which is still a European regulation, which sets out the rules in order to be compliant with the claims. And the European Commission has provided also a guideline which is easily accessible, which can really help the economic operators to better claim for their cosmetic products. We also will talk about the ingredients. As I said before, cosmetic products, of course, are composed by some ingredients, and also there are some specific regulation on this product. I would just mention the REACH regulation, which is the most important regulation on the field, but there is also the CLP regulation. Not only the REACH and CLP regulation apply, unfortunately, to cosmetic products, because of course, cosmetic products have to be into some packaging, and there are some specific rules on packaging in European Union which have to be applied in all the member states. And recently, the ministerial decree in 2002 has provided some guidelines, which I will talk about next time. And at the end, on the event of the 26th, I will provide a summary on how to make an import of cosmetic products into the European Union. I will talk about, of course, labels, about the safety of the products, about the compliance, about the penalties, and the responsibilities of economic operators. As Stefano and Paolo said before, if I understood well, the market is growing, is really growing, especially the Italian one. But of course, it's a good idea to invest at this point on this market, but also it is very important to be compliant with the regulation that I already mentioned, because otherwise there might be some responsibilities, not just for penalties, but that can lead to also criminal charge, which may be very effective. So thank you for your time. I hope to see you again on the 26th of November. And I think I can give the floor to Bibiana. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, David. Thanks to all our speakers for their interesting reports. It's time for questions. If there is any, please, you can write them on the chat, or if you want, you can speak. In the meanwhile, I remember that you receive all the slides that you have seen today. And as I said before, the recorded webinar will be available on the GCC website. So I wait for a few seconds. If there is any who wants to ask or I think no. I check on the chat, but there's no any questions. So thanks again for your attention, and see you on the 26th of November for the second part. So if you don't have registered yet, it's time to do it. Thank you very much. Thanks, Paolo, David, and Stefano.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you. See you on 26.